Hi, everybody, and welcome to Discovering Our Gifts. I'm Jeannie, and with me is my cousin Lenny. Today's topic is the chakras system. We'll go over what the 7 chakras are, how they work, and how they influence your mind, body, and spirit.
The majority of my information that I'm using today came from this book that I found called the Chakra Directory, a complete directory on discovering your chakras for healing and balance. And she breaks everything down per chakra. She gets into the aura layers and how it's connected to your chakras and all of that. She discusses everything overactive, underactive, blocks, way to heal them, certain foods and herbs and medicines that are good for each of the chakras as well. I highly recommend this book. It's by Vicky Howe. I'm sorry, Vicky Howie. Yeah, the 7 their chakras, there are 7 main chakras, and they are these energy power centers that are located throughout your body, and it's where the spirit and the body interact and interconnect. They start at your tailbone and they end above your head. The first 6 reside within the body, and the only one that resides outside the body is the 7th, the crown chakra, and it's right above your head. So, when these power centers are healthy and aligned, you can achieve energetic harmony between your body and soul. Everything just is in perfect alignment, running healthy like a healthy engine would. Um, some philosophies say that there are up to 112 chakras in the body, but the 7 main core chakras are the vital ones that you need to be able to live. And they're the most recognized. And they go from the densities of the chakras go from dense to light. So your root chakra is going to be your densest, and your crown chakra is going to be the lightest. All the colors of the chakras are also the same as the color of the rainbow. Each chakra has a color that's connected to it.
Those colors are also associated with aura colors, if I'm not mistaken, right? The
Yeah,
same colors.
each chakra is connected to a different layer of the aura, and a different color. And we'll break down with each aura layer and each color that's associated with each of the chakras. The root chakra is your first chakra. It's located at the base of your spine. It's associated with masculine energy. It develops between birth and age 7. It's associated with the color red, the earth element, the planet Saturn, and the sense of smell. And it's connected to your first aura layer. It is about physical embodiment and overall health and vitality. Um, it's also associated with grounding and anything foundational in your life. It's the foundation, the seat of your spiritual elements. And it directly influences finances, work, family, and home life. And
It's
it
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go
and
ahead.
it help you manifest physical things like money and good physical health.
That's it. What I find curious is that you said it develops from the ages of 0 to 7 years old. And it's connected to grounding. I see that as the age where we're as children running around barefoot. It's running around the playgrounds and outside and everywhere barefoot is when you're naturally grounding
Yeah.
as a
And
kid.
and those first years of your development are the foundation for the rest of your development in your later years in adult life.
Okay.
Everything that the root chakra is everything physical, everything foundational. Um and signs, it can be all of your chakras can be underactive, overactive, blocked. Some of the signs that your root chakra is underactive is you're anxious all the time. accident prone, financially unstable. You can be disorganized, or you're constantly moving homes because your home is your home base, your foundational base. So if you're constantly moving homes, you don't have that uh what's that saying when you settle down and root in put in roots somewhere? You're
Yeah,
moving home. You can't really root in somewhere. Uh,
that's wow. That's do you feel as though your chakra, your root chakra is rooted in or settled down?
it's much better. Um,
Uh-huh.
I didn't realize, like, once I started reading about what the root chakra is associated with and everything, I started realizing like where I could feel like some of the stuff. I started working on some of those things, like the anxiety and stuff like that, trying to feel rooted and at home, within my own life. But it's that one's definitely one of those, it's a work in progress situation where, you're always working on it, but I've I've worked on it a lot. Um, a lot of your shadow work is
Mhm.
rooted in the root chakra.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's all that childhood stuff and everything. So,
Uh-huh.
I feel like if I said if there was 100%, I'd probably say I'm like 80%, 75 to 80%.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
it's a continued thing. Yeah.
Process
Yeah. What about
to
you?
working. Um, I'd say just off of what you listed here, the anxiety, I'm a little bit accident prone.
Yes.
Uh, but I can see where I'm not as bad, or like you said, I'm at probably a 75, maybe an 80, because I dislike to be moving around. Like I like, I hate moving because we did it so much as kids. I
Yeah.
don't even move my furniture. Like I will move my furniture out of the way, clean where
Put it
the
right
furniture
back.
is, and then put it right back in its spot. So I don't know if that's good or bad in
Yeah,
this sense,
it's
but
good.
I need that stability. Like I need to feel, and then I'm good financially. Um and I'm forgetful, so I try to be as organized as possible so that I know where everything is all the time.
Yeah.
So that I don't have to worry about finding my stuff. So I try to be as organized as I can be.
Yeah. I don't like moving. I hate moving.
Yeah.
My anxiety, my accident prone. Speaking of, a few weeks back, I had told you to me. I woke up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, and one of my dog's toys, I didn't want to turn the light on because I didn't want to become
Hmm.
fully awake. And one of my dog's toys was like just outside the door frame of the bathroom, and I stepped on it and it threw me off, and I actually like walked in but tripped into the door, the very corner of the door frame,
My God.
gave myself a black eye and everything. I'm like screaming. My husband's waking up like, "What's going on? What's going on?" It was a mess. It was a mess. But yeah, it happens all the time. We started joking that he was gonna get me a football helmet to wear around the house. The best healing methods for the root chakra is aromatherapy, yoga, and gemstones such as garnet, ruby, or red jasper. Blah, blah. Then you have your sacral chakra, which is located at the center of your pelvis. It's associated with feminine energy. It's where the seat of feminine energy. That one develops between the ages of 8 to 14 years old. It's associated with the color orange, the water element, sense of taste, and the moon. It's connected to your second aura layer. And it's about change, flow, spontaneity, and it's the chakra from which women give birth, obviously. It's also associated with your sense of fun, emotion, intimacy, and sexuality. It's from where your curiosity, joy, and desire to bond with someone else comes from. So it's the main focus of intimacy and emotions. Signs that it's underactive is sexual rigidity, fertility issues, dehydration. Overactive signs can be sexual promiscuity, codependence, or lack of emotional control. Um, and the best healing methods for this, according to the book, is emotional release techniques, drinking lots of water, and hip opening yoga poses.
I want to say that I think mine's is pretty much normal or balanced because I think I have a healthy dose of curiosity. Um, all the other stuff that you mentioned, I think I'm good or set up on it. I don't feel as I'm in the things you described. I don't think I'm over or under. I think I'm just like right there, like
Yeah,
pretty
same.
much,
I
pretty
used to
much
have
balanced.
fertility issues. It took us 4.5 years to get pregnant with my youngest son. That was probably like the biggest issue that I had. And my menstruation is really, really tied in to my stress levels and stuff like that, and my emotional health. So like when things are really peaceful in my life and flowy, I self-regulate. My body just starts self-regulating. Whenever I get stressed or I'm worried about things, it starts coming at crazy times and, all over the place. So it's one of those things that I've had to be very cognizant of in order for my physical regulation to be in a good place. And, just as side note, not everyone's fertility issues are due to their sacral chakra issues. That I think it was one of my issues because I later found out how stress and the outside elements in my life so deeply affect my body. So for me, I was able to come to that understanding that when things are out of whack in my life, my fertility issues went completely out of whack. For
Okay.
someone else, you want to go by your doctor's issues. Of course, the doctors had their medical ideas about why, what was happening to me, what was happening. I was diagnosed with a few things,
Mm.
but as I made my life calmer and less stressful, I took control of stress factors in my life, and I moved to an environment that suited me better. All of those things just self-aligned, they self-regulated,
It
um,
helps you out.
and that's how I was able that's when I knew mine were because of other issues and
Okay.
stuff like that.
But it kind of makes sense though, because like they tell you a lot of times, put it out of mind. Like maybe while you had it in front and center, um, you were stressing out about it. I'm not getting pregnant. I'm not this. And then some people tend, a lot of stories that I've heard is when they put it out of mind, they put it in the back burner or whatever
I gave
and
up.
worried about other things and poof, there's the
Yep,
pregnancy.
I gave up. We had moved from Delaware to Florida, and on the move, I had been holding on to our older son's his crib and strollers and stuff like that. And I said I was done trying. I'm over it. I gave away all the baby stuff that I had been holding on to. Only held on to his stuff that, memento stuff. And we moved to Florida, what, June, September. 3 months later, 3.5 months later, I was pregnant. Yeah, because I completely just let go of it. And I didn't want to be a certain age trying to have a baby.
Right.
And my, our youngest was already getting to a certain age, and I'm like, this is my cutoff. I'm right there. I'm over it. I'm done. I'm not trying no more. And, and I think the move from where we were to Florida, it was much more country, much more rural, much more
More
relaxed.
relaxed.
And all of those things in combination, me putting it out of my mind, giving up, new environment, less stress, all just came together to make that perfect thing, and it happened. Yeah.
Okay.
Then we have the solar plexus. That's your third chakra. It's located at the center of the torso, just above the navel, but it's just below where the ribs begin to part. That develops between the ages of 15 to 21. It's associated with the color yellow, fire, sense of sight, the sun, and Mars. Some of the stones that are associated with it are tiger's eye, golden calcite. Is that how it's pronounced?
Yes.
Citrine and topaz. The main focus of your solar plexus is personal power and identity. It also relates to your confidence, motivation, and ego. Um, and ego, uh, it they mean two things by ego here. Your ego as in your self identity and pride and stuff, ego as in pride and stuff like that, self-confidence, but also ego as in who your identity is, who you see yourself as. Um, when they say that's your ego speaking,
Mhm.
they don't mean, your pride is speaking. They mean that's that human part of yourself, your human identifiable part of yourself speaking. Um, it is the home of our decision making, um, and gut feelings.
Okay.
Signs that it's underactive, you could be timid, chronic fatigue, constant indecision, confusion, and low self-esteem. If it's overactive, some signs can be bullying, rage, always in a rush and hurrying, things like that.
Huh.
And best healing methods is core strengthening yoga, puzzles, sunbathing, or taking courageous action in some part of your life. If there's something you've been putting off because you're worried or afraid how other people are going to take it, or you're not sure, if you take that bold action and
Mhm.
confidence in your decision, take that step, it can help heal your solar plexus.
Yeah, my solar plexus is unbalanced completely.
Mine is
Just
everywhere.
yes,
It goes up and
because
down
I'm
depending on what's
just
going
just
on.
based off of what you gave here. I'm timid because I'm naturally shy, and I've said it a few times on this channel. Uh, I do have not chronic fatigue, but I'm always tired. Um, Constant indecision, definitely me. Uh, I do tend to battle with some low self-esteem, and then overactive. I'm always in a rush and I'm always hurrying. So I'm flopping all over the place. That's
Yeah,
okay. So now I got to work on that one. Okay, that's good to know. 'Cause
yeah, it is.
and then
Um,
that's the one with the ego also, right? Because I'm a number
yeah,
9.
where your decision making comes
Yes.
from.
Uh-huh.
Um, it's also, sorry.
Because that's something number 9s, life path number 9s tend to have to deal with, right? That's what Steven said
I
for
believe
us,
so. Yeah,
uh,
yeah,
our egos. Hmm.
yeah,
Which if
yeah,
you're
and it's
interested in hearing more
associated with,
about life path numbers, you can check that out on
yes,
our
I did
channel.
a numerology episode with my brother Steven, and he goes over the numbers and their associations and
Hmm.
numerology and all the life path numbers, including master numbers. It's really interesting conversation. We can even get into the matrix and all of that. Yeah, the solar plexus is also associated with your third layer, aura layer.
The
Um,
aura. Okay.
yeah, I know mine is all over the place with this one. I I can be shy from time to time. I go in and out. I'm reserved more so, like I'm reserved until I get to know people and then I come out my shell
Mm-hmm.
more. Chronic fatigue is something I'm always dealing with. Indecision, depending on the situation. I struggle with so low self-esteem. I used to get really angry when I was younger. Thank God I don't get that anymore, thankfully. But always in a rush and hurrying. That's something that I've worked on. Sometimes like I'm out running errands for the day and I feel like this need, like I have to get back to the house. I have to get back to the house. But then I'm like, what are you rushing? There's nothing for you to do back at home. Take your time, do your thing, go back, like constantly having to remind myself, slow down, slow down, slow down. Yeah, that one's another work in progress. For
Yes,
sure.
I'm gonna put a little check mark. So,
Number 4 is our heart chakra. It's located in the center of the chest. The first 3 are more associated with your physical body, and the next 3 are, more of your spiritual body.
okay.
So, the heart chakra develops between the ages of 22 to 28. It's associated with the color green and the air element, sense of touch, and the planet Venus. It's connected to your fourth aura layer. Some of the stones that are associated with it are emeralds, rose quartz, and jade. The main focus of the heart chakra is love and connection, and it's where the gift of healing comes from. It is the balancing point and the bridge that links mind and body, and the earthly and the divine. Signs that it is underactive are loneliness and antisocialness. Signs that it's overactive can be overly putting people first and people pleasing. And the best healing methods for this is breath work, emotional freedom techniques, Reiki, and hugs.
What are emotional freedom techniques?
Those are the techniques we actually talked about them. I think it was in our meditation
Mhm.
podcast, where when you are like your anxiety or overly emotional or something, you do the tapping techniques, and basically you
Oh,
are um tapping your pressure points in your face and stuff like that, and you can go throughout your whole body and you tap them all the way down, and it activates your acupressure points,
okay.
and it
Yeah,
helps
yeah.
calm you down emotionally and physically. A lot of therapists and counselors recommend that type of technique.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Reiki, which is vibrational healing. Is that how it's
Yes.
described? Mhm. And hugs. We've talked about how hugs can be some empaths can heal through
With
hugs
hugging.
and stuff like
Yes.
that.
Yeah. Um, I think I'm surprised. Mine seems to be, for the majority, pretty healthy, but I do tend to fall a little underactive just based off of what you've got here. I guess antisocial, in the sense where, but it not lonely. I just tend to sometimes want to be alone, or as a matter of fact, yesterday I was at a family gathering. My brother was asking me about it today, and he was like, "Why were you off alone? It's like to the corner by yourself." It wasn't. I just sat, and it ended up everybody moved the table, the Domino's table, set it up like right in the middle, and I ended up like being by myself over here. But then I didn't feel like getting up and moving to where everybody else had sat. So I just stayed there, but I was okay in my spot. But it was because I wasn't really feeling that well. And then I was relaxed. So I guess that would fall under being a little antisocial. I was fine where I was. I wasn't lonely or anything like that. But I tend to do that sometimes. Like, if you let me, I'll just wander off and sit off by myself, and I'll be 100% okay in that corner by myself. And
Yeah.
there won't be anything wrong with me. Like, it's not, it's not that I'm sad or
It depends
anything.
on the mood for you.
I think so. And I guess that's the empath in me, might be like
Maybe
looking for,
for me, I think so for me. Yeah, I get that. What did I say to my brother the other day? I would love to have a property where it could feel like no one else in the world exists. I get into those moods where I don't want to know other people are alive or in this world. I
and yeah, and it's not that that I want to feel disconnected from anybody. It's just like, for example, I don't know if it has anything to do, but I had been to a funeral um earlier in the week, and I saw, I was gathered with a lot of family members, and I gave out a lot of hugs and that type of deal. So I don't know if it was me like
that
looking to
recharge,
recharge.
that space.
That's yeah. I guess that's what it is, because I was fine. I was okay in the corner by myself, type deal. So maybe.
Yeah, I get the same way. I don't get lonely. When I was younger, I remember in my teen years always having this sense of loneliness, but
Hmm.
thank God I don't have that anymore. Um, but I get I need that recharge time. Like,
Yeah.
had I been able to go to that funeral and everything when I came back, I would have been the exact same way. That's what happens to me. I tend I've something else I've also worked on, putting people first too much
Okay.
to where it's at an unhealthy level.
Right.
Um, and people pleasing, having a hard time saying no. That's something that I really, really worked on because I needed
Okay.
to, because of that stress factor that I was talking about earlier. So that
Okay.
was one of those things. And learning to embrace that alone time, embracing it, so that I can fully recharge, not feeling guilty about
Right.
needing one time. Yeah.
But it shows up here kind of as an underactive sign. So I don't know. Maybe
Yeah,
if you go too much, could it
that
be?
and right. See, sometimes I'm in the house too much. I'm away from people too much, and I
Hmm.
do need to get out. And my husband will tell me, like,
Okay.
"Babe, I need to get you out of that. You've been inside too long." Like yesterday, he took me to a new botanical gardens that he found just to get me out of the house a little bit because he's like, I, I would stay home all the time mostly, and it's so funny because when I was younger, I didn't like being home all the time. I liked
Right.
that balance where now I
You
have
and
to
I
find
both.
that balance of
You
being
and I.
out more now and all of that.
Okay.
So yeah, that's where that, antisocial, like I don't want to know anybody exists. I'm in a world all by myself. Yeah, thing comes from. And the breath work stuff really works on that too. Breathing techniques.
Hmm.
And number
Yeah.
5, we have the throat chakra. Uh, it's located in the center of the throat. It usually develops around 29 to 35. All of these chakras after the root, um, the development ages, they're roundabouts. You know what I mean? So this one develops around about 29 to 35. It's associated with the color blue, the element of sound, sense of hearing, and the planet Mercury. It's attached to the fifth aura layer, and some of the stones that it's associated with is turquoise lapis, lazuli
Lap
blue.
no, lap it's Sorry. It's turquoise, lapis lazuli, and blue what is it? Kyanite?
Okay. Yeah. Oh, so it's turquoise,
Lapis
lapis,
lazuli.
lapis lazuli, and then blue kyanite.
Right.
Okay. Cool.
Right.
Now I know. Um, the main focus of the third chakra is authentic expression and life purpose. And funny enough, it's also associated with the ability to listen to others. I know it's most people think communication, but when you're communicating with someone, you also have to be able to receive that communication as well. So that's where the hearing part comes in. The underactive signs can be things like TMJ,
What's
that,
that?
when your jaw gets stuck. Um, it happens to me sometimes, like I grind, like not grind, but I compress my teeth when I'm sleeping. And then when I wake up, it feels like my jaws,
Really? I have that
yeah. And then like
severely.
sometimes if it's really bad, when I go to take a bite of something, the
Mhm.
first meal, it feels like I'm popping out, like I'm forcing my jaw to close, and it'll hurt.
It's
Um,
like I tend to grind my teeth a lot, which I think is related with my anxiety. So I tend to grind my teeth a lot, but I think I also have this just a little bit dislocated or something.
yeah, yeah. It can be associated with stress too, TMJ. And
Mhm.
yeah, the more stressed I am, I like um compress my teeth. I don't grind them, I like
Oops.
compress them.
Right.
Um, and sometimes if I'm really stressed, I'll be doing it while I'm awake. I don't even realize like I've got my jaw gripped real tight
Hmm.
as I'm doing things. Yes, underactive signs, TMJ, pathological liar, someone who rarely speaks and having an overly quiet voice. Overactive signs can be someone who grinds their teeth, talks too loud, talks too much, or is a poor listener. Best healing methods is chanting mantras, crystal bowls, thyroid stimulating yoga poses, and wearing turquoise or lapis lazuli. Those can help with that. Yeah, that one for me also, depending on what's going on and where I'm at, it goes up and down and all over the place.
For me, definitely the teeth grinding, but it falls under overactive.
Yeah, that falls under overactive.
Mm.
Yeah. Talk too loud, talk too much, and you're not listening, like, when you're overly speaking, and then you're not listening to what the person has to say in response to your conversation and stuff like that. The pathological liar would make sense, and not speaking your truth is also, something that's associated with the throat chakra. When
Mhm.
you're holding in your authentic self, your truth, that can block it. Holding secrets and stuff like that blocks. Not defending yourself in the appropriate time and manner, things like that, can block it. The throat chakra, solar plexus chakra, and the sacral chakra in combination is what is used for mediumship. That's what James Von Prague said.
Okay.
He's the author. Um, he talks about his mediumship abilities and how he connects with the spiritual world and all of that. I'll put a link. But yeah, that those are all the throat chakra elements, the base. There, with all of these, there's a lot more. I'm just giving you like the main basic things and associations and stuff like that. Then chakra number 6 is your third eye. Some people also call it the brow chakra. It's located between and above the eyebrows. That one naturally expands between 36 and 42 years of age. It's associated with the color indigo, the element of light, sixth sense or your ESP, and the planet Neptune. It's connected to your sixth aura layer, and its main focus is ESP, extrasensory perception, and clear perception. Some of the stones associated with it are azurite, labradorite, and indigo kyanite. Oh, the feminine and masculine energies also merge and become one in the third eye. It is your home of intuition, inner knowing, imagination, and your higher self. Signs that it is underactive is when you can't recall dreams, you lack intuition and self-trust. Overactive signs can be nightmares, hallucinations, insomnia, dizziness. Again, always seek medical professional help if you any dizziness. We're not medical professionals.
Mhm.
Um, and the best healing methods are meditation, intuitive exercises, making vision boards, and lucid dreaming exercises. So I know like lucid
How
dreaming
would it look? Yeah, that's
exercises,
what I was about to ask you about.
I know a lot of them are meditative. You can also there's certain things like you can play what are those so the ones you play like the mantras or that you play when you're sleeping and stuff like
Mantras.
the
The
affirmation
affirmations.
when you're sleeping. And also, have I read in many places? You want to go to sleep with the intention of realizing that you want to lucid dream, with the intention of wanting to lucid dream and things like that. So there are a lot of techniques out there, but I have heard setting your intention of lucid dreaming, your habits before you go to bed, and meditation.
Huh. Mine's is probably all over the place. Go ahead.
Yeah, it depends on what's going on.
Mine's, I know it's, hold on, I lost it. Mine's, I think, can be both underactive and overactive. And I have a question. I hope I don't forget it. But because I have a lot of nightmares. I tend to have a lot of nightmares. But then again, I think my strongest gift is, and this is, I'll just save that for, but I have a lot of nightmares. I have dizziness. I don't have insomnia. So I guess I have overactive signs. Uh, and sometimes I can't I know that I dreamt, but I can't remember my dreams.
Yeah, that's where I was saying, like, it depends what's going on in my life
Hmm.
because I go through
Hmm.
phases like that. I don't thank God, I don't have very many nightmares or hallucinations. Insomnia is not a big deal or
Hmm.
anything like that. For me, sometimes it's, not remembering the dreams because sometimes it seems like our guests go through phases and stuff like that and
Right.
break.
That's what I was gonna mention earlier. I think my one of my strongest gifts is what is it, clairvoyance? Does that fall under clairvoyance?
Dreams, yes.
Dreams falls under clairvoyance. I dream a lot. I have a lot of premonition dreams. I have all kinds of dreams. But my main ones are premonition dreams and symbolic dreaming, which I don't know what that would fall under. Those dreams that have a lot of messages for me,
Message
signs
dream.
and symbols. Yeah, I have message dreams. But because of that, sometimes I don't remember my dreams, and then I have nightmare dreams where it kind of feels like it's spiritual attacks, more or less. So I guess my third eye is mostly overactive and then can tend to be underactive sometimes. My question is though, these I even though you're giving age brackets, we can develop these way before, right?
Yes, everybody,
Okay.
all of these age brackets are just generally speaking, those are like the tendencies. It's like puberty. Everybody goes through, most kids will hit puberty right at 12, and then some kids will hit it earlier, some kids will hit it later. The exact same thing. They develop depending on what's going on in your life, your physical body, your
Yeah.
natural abilities with your gifts and stuff like that. Yeah, I think
Okay.
mine more than I get underactive.
You get more underactive.
Yeah, and again, it's depending on what's going on and stuff like that with me, pretty much. Some of it you can't control really. You
Yeah, I mean, you could be
slow.
tired, probably tired, um, stressed.
Yeah,
Stress has a lot to do with, but then again, it's always been said that stress is it's not healthy for your body as a whole. So
exactly. It's the silent killer.
yeah,
Yeah.
so it doesn't surprise me that it affects all your chakras. It can affect all
Yeah.
your chakras.
Then we have number 7, which is the crown chakra. Like I was saying earlier, that's the only one that's outside of your body. It's just above the center of the head. Naturally expands between the ages of 42 to 49. It's the lightest of the chakra energies and it vibrates at the highest level. It's associated with the color violet to white, the planet Jupiter. It's not associated with any element because it's a spiritual chakra or any sound or any food. Like some of your chakras can have food or associations and stuff like that. This one doesn't have anything like that. It's connected to your seventh aura layer, and its main focus is oneness with everything. It's related to silence, stillness, abstinence, and it's the gateway to the divine. The stones associated with it are amethyst, clear quartz, opal, violet sapphire, white calcite, and diamond. Some underactive signs can be depression, apathy, or extreme skepticism. And some overactive signs can be a God complex, over intellectualism. The best healing methods is prayer, meditation, and fasting. But yeah, those are the associations of the crown chakra. Um, I get underactive
You do?
if I associate over intellectualism with logic, like overly logical, I can be overactive in that way. Depression has been an issue that I've had to deal with on and off throughout, most of my adult life,
Hmm.
teen years and stuff like that. Those are things that I've had to work on, and it's another one of those issues where depending what's going on in life and stuff like that, and the skepticism, I don't have extreme skepticism, and I've gotten a lot better with it. But it's strands there of skepticism
Yeah.
sometimes and stuff like that. Yeah. But
Um, I don't see it in you though, because you're so open-minded to a lot of stuff.
more now, like I'm more open-minded now because I was able, when I stopped working,
Mhm.
I was able to like research and look into so many things and find
Mhm.
answers that
Okay.
I had no idea existed. You know what I mean? And explanations for things that I always wondered, like, it's not real. So it's gotten better with
Okay.
that. I think the last year to 2 years has been my biggest leaps.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I honestly I don't see it fully in you being a skeptic. I see you more as a let me go figure that out real quick
Yeah.
type deal. So yeah. With me, I don't see myself as having depression, but I have been I don't want to say tested, but like I was interviewed and I do fall in the bracket of like of depression. I don't know what percentage it is, but like I've never been one
Spectrum.
to want to harm, self-harm or anything like that. But I do fall in that spectrum of depression. So I guess there kind of a little bit I would fall into that, and probably some apathy, and sometimes I'll lose interest in stuff. So I guess there I could fall. That would be underactive, right?
Yeah.
Overactive, I don't fall into overactive. I don't think of myself as either of those. So, and then I guess we're pretty good with those because the prayer methods, I mean, the healing methods, we prayer, meditation, fasting. I don't do. I'm sorry, but I haven't done any type of fasting, but I fully recommend meditation and prayer. It
Yeah,
works.
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard fasting, I do intermittent
Do
fasting.
you?
It helps with my medications and stuff like that. Um, but I've heard people who've done like hardcore fasting for like days at a time and stuff, and they've experienced things like they get visions and stuff like that, and answers and meditation and prayer. Yeah.
Yeah. They say it's one of I can't, I get headaches and all that. I
Yeah,
can't
I'm
can't
not.
go through.
Yeah, I'll start getting nauseous and stuff. Like there are days where I don't want to eat strictly because of my medication, and I have to
Yeah.
force myself to take a bite or two of something
Mm-hmm.
just to settle my stomach. So that's why I do like the intermittent type deal. Yeah, it's not something that I could do hardcore or anything like that. So,
So with all of these chakras, I guess the main recommendations would be the breath techniques, meditation, right?
yeah,
I'm looking
yoga.
looking the yoga.
I think, like, things with, like, the throat chakra, I would
Mhm.
imagine that being able to release some things into a diary or a journal would also help you, um, open it up more or unblock it. Yeah, some actual physical exercises, like, the yoga poses for some of them and things like that. There are also some foods, herbs, and stuff like that that are
Mhm.
associated with a lot of the chakras that you can take and drink teas and stuff that help develop things like that. For instance, I have heard that I think it's a cilantro tincture helps with the third eye and the pineal gland, things like that. If you're not aware of what the pineal gland is, it's this thing, some people think it's the third eye itself, but it's not. It is this gland that is, like, right behind the front lobe of your brain, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on this. I'm not a professional. It's a very, spiritually it's a spiritual gateway to your gifts and things like that, is how I've
Okay.
heard it to be described, and when you take things like cilantro tinctures and teas and stuff like that, it helps to decalcify the pineal gland.
Okay.
Yeah, if you look up things like that, or if you look up,
Letty,
herbal medicines.
do you want to list real quick what foods can go with which, so
Yeah,
we
I
can
think
have
I
I
actually
think I'd like to have that in there.
the crown chakra isn't associated with any foods, because it's outside the body, so it's not associated with anything physical. Your third eye is actually associated with visual and mind altering substances. So I would imagine mushrooms would be something, the food associated with the third eye or the brow chakra. The throat chakra is associated with fruits. The heart chakra is associated with vegetables. The solar plexus is associated with carbohydrates. And the sacral chakra is associated with liquids. The root chakra is associated with meats and proteins. And
Okay.
I'm sure there are books out there, websites and stuff like that, that would even break down the foods even further, like specific foods, vegetables, fruits, and stuff like that. That would help with each one. There's a lot of books like I thought I saw a book one time where it was like the chakra garden. It was foods, fruits, and vegetables that you could grow in your garden to help with your chakras. There's also I have one that's kitchen garden where and it tells you all these different foods and what the foods benefit each um physical thing each of the foods benefits. Sorry, it's not coming out. And all of that. There's a lot of information out there now. This book just really gets into the technicals of stuff, not so much the spirituality aspects of it. It does speak on it, it does get into it, but not as deeply as you would want to. It does offer an exercise for each topic, each chakra, each issue, and all of that. It gives you meditation exercises, visualization exercises, and all of that. Yeah, I was watching videos on some, I guess, gurus and stuff from India speaking about the chakras and everything, and it gets very in depth, very deep, very spiritual. But the best thing about having all of your chakras aligned and healthy and balanced is you're going to be physically, mentally, and spiritually healthier. You're also going to be able to manifest more when you're aligned and in synchronicity, when all your chakras are synchronized and everything. You're going to feel better in all those aspects and things like that. And you'll have better control over your life and issues.
I was actually surprised at my results, right? Because I didn't think I had issues with almost all of them. But at the same time, I see that they're not as big or blocked as I thought some of them would be. Like I see that it's reachable. Like you can, it's things you can work on and things you can manage with some
Yeah, it's
more
not as
meditation.
hard.
Hmm.
Like you think you're gonna have to do all of this. Well, I guess it depends on the person too. So I'm grateful that I'm in a space where if I do a few tweaks here and there, I can better align and
Right.
everything.
And I also see that it's an ongoing process,
It's something you
that it's
do a maintenance, just
mhm.
like you would maintain, your house or your car and things like that. It's constant maintenance because a lot of it can be affected by what's going on in your life, your surrounding circumstances, family or friends and things like that. So it's a constant daily, thing to keep in mind and work on.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably the hardest part about it is the daily working on it. Like once you know, okay, I just gotta fix this, this, and this, tweak a couple things. It's actually implementing those things.
Yeah. Kind of like when we were talking about earlier with what was it?
Overactive, underactive.
The overactive and underactive, being too much alone versus being more social, like catching yourself when you're falling into these categories, I guess.
Yeah.
The over or the under.
Being self-aware.
Yes. Very.
Um, we're gonna be doing another episode on chakras down the line. We'll get more in depth about it, maybe give some more experiences. Our cousin Ani will also be with us during that episode.
Mhm.
She's done a lot of chakra work and meditation and things like that. So we just wanted to get the technical information out there and something just keep in mind and process. See where each of you are at as well, you know.
Your self-evaluation.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for joining us today, my dog.
Yeah.
Puppy. Go lay down. Go lay down. So thank you for joining us today and talking about our chakras and your chakras and how to, keep them healthy and balanced. Any questions, please don't hesitate to comment or email us. And, any stories or anything or any information that you'd like to add, let us know. We could add it into our future episode.